3, 2, 1. Servus, Grüezi, and welcome not to the best night, your favorite podcast with your favorite B-boy host, your favorite breaking show, and my guest this time all the way from beautiful Canada, now living in
In
Taiwan,
Taiwan. In
representing
Taiwan.
Supernaturalz Crew. Make some noise for my man Dyzee. So first of all, brother, thank you for taking your time. And I always like to give, like you say now, the flowers to the people, right? So, brother, thank you for everything you did for the breaking scene since you started. Is it dancing? Is it clothing? Is it systems? Is it this? Is it that? Thank you for giving back to the culture and thank you for inspiring so many people, so many generations. Thank you for everything you did, brother. Much respect to you.
Man, that's truly an honor, and yeah, that's all. I'm happy. That was those flowers is. I'm good now. I'm I'm ready to retire.
You never
So
have to
happy.
put you never have to put water again on them. Yeah. So, Mr. Dizzy, first time I saw you
Mhm.
was Battle of the Year 2004.
Oh snap! That was a long time ago. 2004.
So, so I started dancing in Vienna, you know, and
Vietnam.
in Vienna, Austria.
Oh, Vienna. Yeah.
Yes. So I started in 2000. And the first thing I watched was Battle of the Year 2000. And then I
Hmm.
started breaking, and then I saw All Battles All 2001, and then forever I was a B-boy. But Botti was always special for us because we always gathered around, we watched the whole tape, all the shows, all the battles. To be honest, we skipped some of the bigger parts back then. But yeah, shoutouts to Bottega Prama. I'm really happy and excited for the cooperation. Use the code GTV10 now to get your discount on your purchase and also become a patron now. And at the end of the month, you can win €100 for their online store. Yes, Bottega Prama, slow fashion, dancewear, streetwear, B Pro, patented protection and culture. B Pro patented protection is really crazy because B Pro means be protected and it's an innovative under t-shirt that protects the points of the body at great risk of injury, wrists, elbows, and for the first time in the world, the shoulders. How does B Pro work? Our pads have a double function, they absorb shocks and at the same time return the thrust. It is worn like a normal thermal shirt and on top you put any dress you want and the protections are invisible. No loss of style, protection and total freedom of movement. We watch everything. So when we saw
Yeah.
you, I think it was the first time I saw Canadian crew at Botti
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Is that
Well,
true?
there was a bag of tricks
Bag of
was the year before.
tricks. Yes, yes.
Yeah, bag of tricks.
Yeah, exactly. And I specifically remember your show because first of all, you was so charismatic on video already. Like already was okay, this guy's like okay, I have to watch this guy. And then was the Holla Back song from Fabulous.
Yeah, yeah.
And you and the other crewmate, you did the threading routine and
Oh
shit.
yeah,
And
yeah.
man, the things you did, we rewind it many times, to, huh? What the fuck, And this was the first time that I saw you, right? And
Yeah, right.
but I didn't know who you are, right? We just saw the show, Canada, okay, who are these guys, this, that. And then I can't really tell you now because for me it's hard to say because I know for sure I saw you since you were with the Seven Commandos.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What year was the Seven Commandos?
Well, I think it officially started 2007, but I didn't join until like 2009 or 2010, 2009 or 2010 around there.
But I
Yeah.
think around this time I saw more and more of you, of your footage. Especially I saw the footage in Italy when you dance.
Italy.
2001 or 2?
Oh yeah, I did go to Italy, but which footage? There's footage of me in Italy?
It's you're dancing. I think it was open air. I'm not 100% sure it's accurate.
Open air, yeah. An
Was it
open air
open
song,
air?
yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
there was an open in Bologna. In
Bro, and I
Bologna.
just remember I saw this clip and I thought, damn, this guy kills everybody. Where is he? I didn't saw you at because I used to watch everything that was taped.
Mhm.
I watched it and I didn't see you. And then I saw this like ages left. Man, this guy is so crazy. And then of course we got to meet also. We talked in person and everything. And
Yeah.
you're also for a very high skilled guy, you're also very humble, and you're a good person. So that's also that's
Mhm.
also a big plus. So, brother, you started in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Do you
I
remember do
started in Canada.
you remember the first thing that you saw that was hip hop related?
Actually, the first thing I saw actually goes back to 1983,
Oh
right? So,
wow.
I was born in 1979, right? So that
Mhm.
kind of like a lot of people don't they may have Asian genes, so I look like a lot younger than I really
Definitely.
am. And to be fair, I think a lot. My maturity is a lot younger than my age,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, I remember 1983 or was it 82? 82 or 83? My cousins came from Chicago and they were breaking, right? So I have pictures of this, right? Like, and then they taught me three moves in 1983. And so breaking exploded in this time, right? It was everywhere. It was on TV. Every channel you turned on, they're breakdancing. When I lived on the 19th story of my building, and when you look down, you would see like 4 or 5 crews practicing on the concrete on different places, right? Like you could see,
Really?
yeah, yeah. So it was really big. Like it was a really big craze in those times. And then it died out like a few years later. I didn't see it, but I always kept those three moves with me. Uh, like I did the coffee grinder or the
Yeah.
one step helicopter or
Right.
whatever. The butt spin, right? Because that was like from back then. And then I could do the worm. I can do the worm really good. I can do it like, And so I had these three moves, and I kept it with me, throughout my childhood, and I just kind of did it every time I could. But I didn't know what breaking was, right? And then I grew up and became a teenager in the 90s, right? So that was like a rough era, right? Like in the 90s, everything was raw. There was a lot of, punks and, all over the streets. I lived in a place called Scarborough. And I guess in Canada it'd be equivalent to like the Bronx, you know what I mean? Like Bronx in New
Okay.
York, Scarborough, Toronto, right? Like that's what it'd be considered. And so um, we would go to like jams, right? Like not like just not when I say jams, I don't mean like b-boy jams, right? Just kind of like kind of like parties, you know what I mean? Where you just go and you just vibe out all ages, really dangerous, lots of punks, but you know, and you couldn't bring your weapons because everyone had to carry weapons back then, right? You had to, but you couldn't bring it inside because they would check you like very carefully to check you. So you'd be in there, no weapons, but you have to have all your friends with you, and there'd be so many little brawls throughout the night, and you'd always be like, "Is my friend getting beat up?" So you have to look and be like, "Okay, no, I don't know them." Like it's kind of like that. And this is always a big part of my story is one time there was like people like yelling like oh my god, and I thought someone was getting beat up like really bad because there was a huge circle and everyone was looking down going oh. So I thought someone was getting jumped or something. So I kind of like ran up and I want to see who it is. And I jumped on the backs of everybody, right? Like, like jumped on the backs to look in. And that's where I saw breaking. I was like, what the frick? Like, I was like, what is that? Like, I was like, yo, I know this.
Yeah.
I know this. I know this, right? And so right from that time, I was like hooked. I was like 14,
Yeah.
right? So I don't really consider the 80s, like, I can't consider that me being a b-boy.
Of
But
course.
when I was like, well, when I was 14, I kind of got into it. This is 1993. But I think I considered myself as 94 is when I actually considered myself a b-boy. Like I actually was like, I'm gonna do this,
Mhm.
So that's when I first saw it, man. It was like a life changing for
And
sure.
then the friends you went with to the jam with, they also start breaking?
Everybody break back then, right? Like all the punks break. Everybody did it. Like it was just like it was a normal thing because it was on. It's like it was the golden era of hip hop, right? So you had like all these like Wu Tang and all these uh, and everybody was like doing something. They were either rapping or they were like doing graffiti or breaking or something. Everybody was trying everything, right? Like it was so popular. And then everyone was also like like kind of trying to be gangster because of all the gangster rap and everything like that. So
Of course.
yeah, but
Where you came from, you had the four seasons, right? You have snow, you have everything.
yes, of course,
So,
yes.
so in the summer you practice outside, but then you had like a famous practice spot where everybody met, or was there a dance studio?
Yeah, yes, yes. So I can speak mainly for like Scarborough, right, and Supernaturalz and where we came from, right? Of course, there's like Bag of Tricks and Boogie Brats. They came from Toronto too, right? So you know, and but for us, for Supernaturalz, we came from Scarborough. They did have like a few members from Bag of Tricks that lived in Scarborough, but Bag of Tricks is predominantly West Toronto, right,
Mhm.
in another really tough area, right, called Jane and Finch. It's very famous, and that'd be like the Harlem, you know what I mean, like the Harlem of Toronto. And anyway, um, okay, there used to be this shopping mall, right? Well, they're still there actually. It's called Scarborough Town Center, and everybody would go there, punks, and everybody would be at this mall, right? Just like causing trouble. They had like crazy security and everything. And to combat all these people who were just chilling in the mall and causing trouble, they opened up a youth center in the mall, right? Like, you know, kind of like a really ghetto, like youth center, right? And I still remember when first time someone said to me, "Hey, I heard there's like breaking in this center, right? Like, you know." And you go into this room and there's all these punks in this room, and you see like people breaking on like, you know, breaking, and you see like people rapping, and they're watching on TV 106 in Park. I don't know if you heard of that show 106 in Park,
Oh,
where
no.
like it was like the first time they had rap battles on TV,
Okay.
right? And, like yeah, it was like really awesome. Yeah, so that's kind of like the climate of like how things were back then. Like it was like hip hop and the culture and b-boying, and
Mhm.
everyone did it. Like everyone was kind of into it somewhere, like whether it's DJing or something, everybody kind of like knew something, you know
Mhm.
what I mean, or
And you
tried
talk,
something.
you talk now Toronto, right? But Canada is big. So was there in whole Canada scene already?
You know, I was only like 15, 16, so to me, I didn't know anything outside of Canada, right?
Okay.
I'm like 15 years old, like, you know, like I'm a little kid,
Yeah.
right? I'm like getting into trouble all the time with my friends, and just, you know, like fatherless behavior, you know? And and it was like yeah, it was just like I thought that breaking was just a gang thing. I didn't know it was outside of Toronto at all, right? Because like
Hmm.
every gang that you knew, or crew, you call them crews, like a crew or gang, or like cliques, right? Like a like, you know, because people had back then there was no cell phones, right? And people always rolled in like big groups
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah.
everywhere, right? It was normal, right? Like, you know, and so you always had to have a big crew to protect yourself, you know? So everyone kind of like turned into cliques, crews, gangs, and whatnot. But every crew, clique, or gang had like one or two b-boys, right? Like breakers, right? And
Mm.
so this is kind of like how things started, right? For us, right? Like, you know, so every gang had one or two breakers, right? And when you would go to like a party, you're like looking for breakers, because everyone looked like a b-boy, right? Everyone looked like, you know, like they all like, you're like, is that guy a b-boy? Is that guy a b-boy? And so, you know, they'd have like the music, and you're kind of like a house party, or a basement party, or a someone rents a hall, and then they kind of have like a party, right? And then all of a sudden, when the music gets to like 80s, like kind of like old school hip hop, everyone goes like this, right? Because you're looking around for like a circle to form, right? Like, you know what I mean? And so you go to the circle and you're standing there, and everyone looks like a b-boy, but you don't know who's a b-boy. And then all of a sudden, someone jumps in, you're like, yo, who's this guy? Who's that guy? Right? Like, right? So that's kind of what I remember. And then people would be like, you hear people whispering, yo, that's Gizmo. And you're like, Gizmo, I heard that name. And you're like, and you watch him, you'd be like, whoa. And everyone was like a character, right? Like everybody like had their own style going on, right? Like it was like it didn't look like the 80s or like the old school kind of breaking, like, you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
foundation. It looked
Yeah.
like something new, like literally like kung fu, right? Like you had a drunken monk kind of looking guy that had a drunken style, and then
Mhm.
you had like a guy who had like little tiny intricate things. His name was Gizmo, right? And then you had like really strong guys, like all different types
Yeah,
of
you had more
characters, right?
characters back then, right? More specialists.
Yeah,
More
yeah,
specialists. Everybody had their own lane. And
yes,
yeah, back in the day, it was not normal. If you was an all-round b-boy, it was like, wow, you can do everything. But it
yeah,
was like it was not normal. Nowadays, it's
yeah,
like normal to have
yeah.
everything. Right now, you
Well, I mean, I would say back then it was kind of fun because no one was like no one tried to be an all-around b-boy because everyone wanted to be good at something, right? They
yes,
wanted to be exceptional at something. So everybody had like a special thing about them. Like one guy was like the flipping flying guy, another guy
yes.
was the head spin guy, another guy had crazy turtles
We
or
used to
whatnot.
say, we used to say, you break, yeah. What you do? I'm a styler. You know, I'm a palm
Yeah, yeah,
mover.
yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah,
the common words. You know, oh, I only style. You know, ah, okay. Oh, I only do palm moves. Ah, okay. You know,
yeah, yeah. Oh, what I
and
was saying though is the interesting thing is that like with all the youth violence and gang activity from that time, right? And I don't know, I'm not trying to compare it to today or nothing. I'm not really even sure, right? I haven't lived in Canada for like a long time, right? But I heard it's really bad. But because every crew or every gang had like one or two b-boys, when you met like another b-boy in a circle, right? You never knew what you'll see them again, right? So you kind of
mm,
tried to battle them, like you would kind of like, and but you could never do it like how people do it now. Like you couldn't be like, ugh, like in their face because that if you were breaking back then, you had to be like connected or you had to be cool, right? Like like there was never like a nerd that would go in there. You know what I mean? Like they would get like people would like throw things at them or something, or like
yeah,
they
yeah.
get bullied. Like,
Not it was not
yeah,
for everybody, and you cannot
yeah,
enter if you have nothing. You know, you have to have
yes, yes.
something.
Yeah, like people literally are like, "Yo, get out of here! You suck!" And like,
Yeah. Now you
they're
say
so
you
bad.
suck. Now you say you suck, and the guy say you hurt my feelings. I will cancel you on the internet. The fuck? You suck. It doesn't matter. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
No, back then it was very brutal, and so yeah. So, but the interesting thing is that you would like because I would have, for example, I would have like all my friends with me, and they're not b boys, but they're ready to get down. You know what I mean? Like in the wrong way, right? And I knew that about them, right? But I want to battle this guy, right? Because I want to see what he has. I don't know what moves he has, so I'm trying to like bait his moves out, but I'm trying to be as respectful as I can because I know his guys are ready to jump out. They're having
Yeah,
a good time
yeah, yeah.
watching us battle, but the moment it gets like touchy,
Yeah.
they feel there's a disrespect, then everyone's like gonna rumble, right? Like everyone's right. So you're
The
trying
real,
your best.
the real routines. Yeah.
Yes, like what always happens, right? So you battle and you go back and forth, and then you're like, and then like after the battle's done, right? Like if someone wins and you walk away, and the person might be pissed or not, but late right after that battle, it's either they want to fight, or you start to talk. You
Yeah.
be like, yo, where you from, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like oh yeah, you're from this name, yeah, like oh yo, where do you practice? Who do you practice with? And then you exchange numbers, and then you start practicing together,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then you meet another group of people and the same thing happens, and this
Yeah.
is so that the b-boys of each gang would eventually come together, and that made
Nice.
Supernaturalz,
That's
right?
what I wanted to ask. Is this how Supernatural works
Yes,
together?
yeah, so that's kind of like how Supernaturalz, everybody was kind of like from a different clique or different gang from different areas,
Nice.
but they became like the basketball team of the the streets, you know what I mean, of like like because everyone, it kind of brought peace because the mediators were hip hop heads. Yo, I know this guy from there. Yo, we don't need to like let's squash it. Yo, I'm cool with this guy. He's from that clique, and then you guys can fight it one on one, right? So this is kind of what happened. So it kind of actually brought peace.
Hmm.
But however, because we were like from this area and we could not have any peace whatsoever with, like, for example, Bag of Tricks from another area, right? It was almost like our cities where we were from was pushing us to hate each other. You know what I mean? Which
Okay.
in hindsight, it's kind of sad. You know what I mean? Like like we're totally cool now, but back then, it was like yeah, it was. I don't think it. I don't see a reason for us to even. I don't even know why we couldn't even like each other. It was just. It was just. I think it was just from where we were from. The
Just
whole
because your
accent thing.
coordinates were different.
East Coast, West Coast kind of thing. East versus West. Like it was kind of like that. Yeah. So
Bullshit.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But
And
now we're totally cool now.
in
And
the
also, Bag of Chicks was older than me too, right? Like they're like a generation from than me. I'm a second generation Supernaturals, right? So Bag of Tricks, like they're like like they invented a lot of stuff, right? And they were
Mm.
they were like like very about like originality. Like they were very strict about originality at that time. You know,
So
they used to beef with each other over not beef, but like fight with each other over moves. So when I was coming up, and my mentality in breaking, how I was taught was, yo, when you watch someone, you got to invent a move as a rebuttal to take that guy out, right? Like you have to have these back pocket moves. This is what I loved about breaking because I was when I was young, when we used to rumble, I was the strategist, right? Like I was the one that planned how we're gonna
nice,
like do it so we could win.
nice.
Mainly because I was a kind of chicken, right? I was kind of I didn't want to lose, you know, like a fight, right? I wasn't the guy that was like I'm just gonna go in there and I was like, we gotta like we gotta be cheap, you know what I mean? We gotta get them when they're not ready, you know. Like that was my thinking. I was so
I mean,
bad.
it's a strategy. Battle is all has also to do with strategy, tactics.
Well, Well, yeah, it transferred over into my breaking too. So that's why when I was first told about breaking and they said it's like a war, it's like an arsenal, and the whole thing is like you're supposed to like have a move for every move. So when I saw all these people, I said, "Oh, he did something like this, so I need to have a response, right? I need to come back at him and hit him really hard. When he pulls out his good move, he won't know I have this move, and I'll
Yeah.
throw it in his face. And the moment I see the pain in his eyes that I broke his ego, then I won. I know I won. You know, like that was my whole
You know,
thinking back then,
you
you know?
know the things that you say now, right? I love that hip hop is getting bigger and everything, and hip hop,
Yeah.
everybody's welcome, and it doesn't matter. I don't
Hmm.
need to tell everybody what
Yeah.
matters, right?
Yeah.
But and peace, unity, love, and having fun, everything is all right.
Uh-huh.
But people have to remember it doesn't come from a good place. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you hear the
Oh
stories from the 70s,
no,
everybody was
no,
a
yeah.
gangster, everybody
Oh
beat people, they took drugs, everything. And breaking and hip hop was an
yeah.
escape, right?
Well,
So,
th-
so
yeah. I mean, to go off what you, oh, sorry, go
yeah,
continue,
say,
continue.
sorry. Say, please, please.
No, because you were saying like the whole thing about peace, love, unity, having fun. Like one of the things
Yes.
that I heard when I was studying this culture and like really learning about it is that like because like when you say peace, love, unity, having fun, like you don't see that. It's not really the peace, love, and unity, having fun is actually not the core universal values of hip hop. It's not. It's actually the
It's the
achievements
goals,
of hip
right?
hop.
We want to
It's the
have
goal.
this.
It's an achievement to get those things. And the
Yes.
only way you can get peace, love, unity, having fun is by the actual real universal values of hip hop, like the universal values, like the four universal values of hip hop is skills,
Hmm.
right? Skills talk, right? Doesn't matter who it is,
Always,
yo, you can
always.
skills. Second universal value is rep, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to rep in order to earn a rep. Like you know, nobody knows you. You don't got no rep because you don't rep,
Yes.
right? People won't respect you if you don't have any rep, right? If you never repped and earned a rep, you're whack, right?
Yes.
Like that's like so the
100%.
universal value.
100%.
Third one, third one is props. Is the proper respects that you get when you finally get people come to you and say, "Yo, you're ill, you're dope," and this guy might, whether the person's younger than you and giving you props as an older, or whether it's someone who you looked up to giving you props, and people are giving you what they call flowers these days, right? Like, like yeah, props is a currency, right? Like like of a universal value of hip hop,
100%. 100%.
right? And the last one is legacy, right? Like everyone wants to leave a legacy. So if you skip any of those, there's always going to be somebody in the culture that's against you. That's going to say, yo, I didn't see no skills, right? Where's your rep?
Yeah.
I didn't see you rep.
Yeah.
Where's what props? I'm
Yeah.
not going to give you my
Yeah.
props. And you didn't leave no
Wow.
legacy. You didn't make no difference. But when you achieve those four things, right? When you can actually achieve those four things in breaking, now you find peace in yourself because you're like, yo, you can actually have peace within yourself. Not peace like peace like we're friends, but peace in yourself. Once you have peace in yourself, now you're able to show love to everybody. And that's how everyone changes. They're like, yo, what's up, man? You start giving people props. You're showing love. You love yourself. You love other people. Then that's when people start uniting because now you're loving each other, and then you can feel the unity in the culture when that happens. And then now everyone's not battling. Now we're having fun. We're doing the ciphers.
That was
We're having
beautiful.
a great time, right?
Wow. Wow.
So it's the achievements, and the thing is like a lot of this is one thing about like old the old organizations like I don't want to name the organizations, but they knew these things, but they never really they solidified the peace, love, unity, having fun. They made songs about these, but they never talked about like the other values and solidified it. And
Mhm.
so now I think it's time that we need to start talking about the things, the unwritten rules that were never really spoken about, and
Yeah.
start sharing these
Yeah.
knowledge with
I
each other.
mean, I could never in a million lifetime explain it the way you explained it. It was just perfect. It was just perfect. And with what I wanted to say was everybody is welcome, but
Mhm.
you have, like you say, skills talk. So
Yes.
if you're a beginner and you have nothing to offer, anything, shut up.
Hmm.
Like earn your voice,
Hmm.
go into the cipher,
Hmm.
represent, like you say, then you get the props, then you have some students, this, that, blah, blah. And I don't like that everything has to be changed. There is
Yeah.
couple, of course, everything has to evolve, right? We cannot be like
Yeah.
in 70s, but there is some core values. If they are not there, then it's not the same thing anymore.
Yeah.
It's like the
Absolutely.
it's like with the whole trap when trap came out, right? At first
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck this, fuck that. Then I thought to myself, you know what? Leave them, let them do their thing, but you know what? Don't call yourself hip hop.
Yeah.
No, because what you do is something that came from us, but you don't
Yes.
represent us. So
Yes.
don't
Yes.
say I'm a trap, I represent. Nah, you don't represent hip hop.
No.
This is what you do.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. It's basically like trap is like hip hop without the culture and the codes and the things that came from it.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I mean?
mean,
It's like,
it's
yeah, it's
another
lost
art form.
values.
It's another art
Yeah.
form, but you
Yep.
don't represent
Agree.
our values.
Yeah.
With the whole mumble thing and everything, this, that, blah, blah. I
Yeah.
don't want to talk bad about it. I just say it's something
Yeah.
different. And don't associate. I hate when people associate with hip hop when it benefits them,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
in general, I'm not hip hop. I'm not this. I'm not. You don't even know the four elements. Shut the fuck up. And then it benefits you, and then you say, hey, I'm hip hop. Fuck off. Fuck off. And like you say also with the certain organizations and events and things that it's sad that they push people just because they have followers, and they don't
Yeah.
push people who have a legacy but only 3,000 followers on their Instagram you know
Yeah. Yeah.
so
I mean, yeah. That's the it's a new world now. You know what I mean? And that happens, right? I guess. Yeah. It is sad,
yeah,
and that's why we're the last generation, the '90s, 2000s like generation who still remembers what it was like then, right? Like remembers how it was like the past. We're the last ones to really. We're kind of like this like the '90s, 2000s. We're the '80s are like none of them get along, right? All the '80s, right? '70s they
too
all
much
like
egos, too much
they they're,
egos.
they're they're not even around anymore, right? Like they don't even care, right?
Yeah.
'80s fighting with each other, they can never be friends. '90s we saw how our heroes from the '80s were acting, and we're like, we don't want to be like that, but we
Yes.
still had that raw element, right? And up to the 2000s, they still saw the cipher battles. They still remember the essence, the crew essence, the props, the legacy, the respect. We remember all those things, and then we see breaking the culture going in a forgetting these values. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
100%.
Like putting you know I'm like putting like judges, people arguing that you don't need to get somebody to get who earned their opinion. We don't need them because they're not a good judge, or just someone who can. It's like we're like what, right? Like
This is a big discussion I always had also with my friends. For
yeah,
example, with the while we talk about the judging, right? Um,
yes,
and nowadays you can have a license for judging. You can pay and then you get the license and then you get to travel and anything. And
yeah,
of course, because you're a dope dancer doesn't mean you're a good judge. We all know that. We
yeah,
all
yeah,
know that. But
yeah,
but you don't have the respect from the dancers if you're a nobody. You know what I mean?
exactly,
Who are you to
exactly,
tell me that I lost? You never been in a semifinal. You never been in a
yeah,
final. You don't know what I
exactly,
think right now, how I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
right now. And
yeah,
and back in the days, the judges, at least 60% of them could smoke the whole jam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's why we respected them also.
yeah. No, yeah. And the big thing about like judging is like okay, so I'm somebody who's about like I really care about judging and making it fair and making it more objective and trying to like make a way that can solve many problems and 'cause I see the problems with judging. However, if it's not objective judging and it's subjective judging, right? If it's subjective judging, that's fine, right? Like, but the only question is subjective is opinion, right?
Mhm.
That's just your personal opinion,
Yeah.
which is the truth, right? Like even the trivium system in the Olympics, right? Or the other system, it's kind of like a system that makes it look like it's objective, but really when you go to the back end, it's just completely
I mean, at the
subjective,
end of
right?
the day, how can you judge art 100% correctly? It's not
Yeah.
possible.
Well, I mean, it's subjective, right? And so,
Yeah.
but the question is, who has earned a right to their opinion,
Yeah.
right? That's the question. Who deserves a right to give their opinion that people can respect,
Mhm.
right? Like who would that be, right? And so yes, there are a lot of really guys who are amazing breakers and they're awesome, but when you see them judge, right? Like you're like, yo, you can see really clear you're not being fair, right? You're just
Yeah.
like, you're picking somebody that that is your friend, right? And we know, or you can't justify this, or you're not following a pattern of how you're judging. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, right? Those are the ones that, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just because we have people who are like that doesn't mean that we have to put people who don't have a name,
Yeah.
and then make them judge,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know what I mean? So
I mean, there is
yeah,
many of them, and I know many of them personally, and I don't want to attack them, but
exactly, of
this is
course,
just my opinion,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because of my
yeah,
opinion, nothing's gonna change. I just say, and I think many people from my generation think this too, right? I
yeah,
put in Facebook one time, I put status, back in the days, the judges could smoke everybody. Whoa, so many discussions,
yeah.
like,
I know everyone's gonna get super upset about that, right? It's like, well,
yeah,
no, I'm just telling you,
yeah,
or at least say like the judge in their prime can smoke everybody,
hmm,
right?
yeah,
Like at least you can at least if you can't say that, right? There's a problem, right? Like if you're like, hey, at this person's prime, he wouldn't make it past semifinals,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
that's bad, right? Or
yeah,
they wouldn't, or no, they wouldn't make it past qualifiers, right? Like
yeah,
that's kind of bad, right? Like you know what I mean? Right? But this person is judging the best of the best in the world and changing people's lives, which
yeah.
is totally okay
I mean,
because
yeah.
they got a license from who signed the license. Oh, the person that signed the license must be the top b-boys and legends. They signed the license, right? No, no, it's an organization that's not from the culture. Okay, oh, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah. I mean, it's on one side, it's nice that we became mainstream, right? Because
yeah,
nowadays everybody listens to our music, everybody dresses like us,
yeah,
the
yeah.
hair, the caps,
Mhm.
everything. But on the other side, it's also sad that people like sold out.
Yeah. But you know what? You know what? Like there's some I can see the positive sides about things too, right?
100%, you
Like
have to, right?
yeah.
You
I
have to.
think that like, I'm glad that outside this is gonna sound controversial, but I'm glad that an outside entity came in and showed us what's up, right? Like what's gonna happen if we don't get together, right? Like, like and we couldn't have got to the Olympics without them, right? Like we could have been
100%. Yeah,
better.
no, no. This
There's
is,
no way.
yeah.
There's no way. So we have to give respect to that. And then secondly, it makes sense. Like I don't think they're trying to cheat breaking because that's how they do with everything else, right? Like the way that they're doing things. They get one person from every country. So one thing that I kind of like about it that I think it is something good is that when you see a judge, you don't know who that judge is, but that judge is from Italy, right? And so of course you're like, yo, who is this guy, right? Or this is an example. I'm just throwing a random,
Just a
right?
random country, yes.
A random country, right? This person came from this random country, Romania, wherever, or you're like, who is this person that's judging? But the interesting thing is that, like for Canada, I see people who are judging there, and nobody might know them. They might feel the same way about them, but I know them.
Yes.
I know what they've done,
Because you're from
and so
Canada.
there's so I'm from Canada, and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad to see this person up there I'm personally glad to see this person up there, but nobody else from, because they're not from Canada, they might not feel that way. So the way that I'm looking at other people, I might be like, why are you up there judging? I don't know you.
Yeah.
But the people from their country might be like, yeah, I'm glad that person's up there. So maybe it's an interesting thing. It could be a
Context
good thing.
matters. Context
Yeah, so
matters, right?
in that context, I think that, like, yeah, okay, these are the people who are, this person must have done something
Yeah.
in their country
Yeah.
that's good,
Yeah.
right? They must have done some good in that country for them to have been nominated and to be up there, which I then respect that, and I would like to know what they have done for them to, not in a bad way, but in a good way. Like, yeah, you're representing your whole country as the judge.
Yeah.
Who are you, right? I want to know who you are. I want to know what you've done. Like, I want to know more about you. So I think that's a good thing. Yeah.
No, definitely. You have to take the positive things, right? And while we
Yeah.
talk about judging, you also created your own judging system, right?
Uh,
Our system.
yeah. I would. I don't want to. I don't. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't feel like yeah. I did put it together, but I don't feel like I created it.
Aha, so you
Right.
had a
Like,
team. You did it together with
I
other
mean,
people.
yeah. Like, well, like I did it with like my crew, like Supernaturalz. Like, we talked about it because in 1999. So the story goes, my mother had a banquet hall. She just decided to like work with her sister, my aunt, and my aunt just invested money, and she said, okay, I'm gonna open a banquet hall, I guess. I want to change my life, but she didn't know anything about business, right? So she was like, our business is really going down. Can you help me? Do something, throw a competition, throw an event. And I didn't know anything but breaking,
Ah,
right? So I was like,
okay.
I guess so. Imagine that, like, only knowing ciphers, only knowing things like that, but never only seeing on maybe like battle of the year, like a battle, but not knowing how battle events work, how competitions work, and then being forced to make a competition, right? So I just kind of threw this competition, right, with my crew, and I said, hey, can you guys find some younger generations and let's get 8 crews to battle, and let's see if we can do this, right? And so we were like, yeah, okay, let's do it. He found 8 people. And then we're like, how are we going to judge this? Right? Like, how do we find out who wins? And we're like, shoot, I don't know. Because no one ever went to, we didn't enter competitions. We didn't know. We were just battling in the ciphers all over the place. So we're like, maybe we can, like, one person, it was kind of funny, said, why don't we just get a judge and then he can just choose who wins or loses? And everyone was cracking up. They're like, that's so stupid. People are gonna be pissed. They're gonna fight. They're gonna trash the place. Like, that's what we were thinking. Like, no, they gotta judge on something, right? Like, like some criteria that, and so what happened was, we had like different types of b-boys that beefed with each other all the time. We really, really beefed to a point of past breaking kind of beef. You know what I mean?
That
Like,
person.
yeah, like it was it became very personal, right? Like physical, right? And so one group of people would always say one thing to us: you guys are not b-boys because you guys have no foundation. Your foundation is whack. And we're like, foundation this, foundation that. And so we would say to them, you guys are whack because you're not original. You guys just want to be like a New York b-boys. You're whack. So we're like, you're not original, and they're yelling at us, you got no foundation, right? And so, right? And then there's this third group of people that all they did was blow ups and tricks. And they said, yo, what you guys do is easy. Like, you're easy. And we're like, you just do windmills and flares and gymnastics. You're not original. Then the other guys be like, yo, you got no foundation. You're not even b-boys. You're not dancers. And they're like, yo, anybody can do that. So we argued with each other. This is something that literally happened like all the time. And so when we made this when we tried to figure out the system, we said, hey, the idea was like, why don't we get one person that all those guys for foundation respect for foundation, and build this, and that person is going to say who had better foundation, right? Nobody can argue. And then we'll get somebody that we and everyone respects for originality, and that person's going to say which side was more original. That's fair. Everyone's like, yeah, that's completely fair, right? We all respect that guy for originality. He says they're more original. They want originality. And then we'll get a third guy who's got the crazy power and blow-ups, and he's going to say who's got more difficulty. Back then we called it difficulty. Now we call it dynamics, because difficulty is kind of subjective, right?
Mm.
And so everyone was like, yeah, that's fair. We have 3 types of judges that represent the 3 factions of b-boys that were always beefing with each other. Even till this day, sometimes we beef with each other, like, but not as bad as back in the day, right? But something was missing, right? Like, we were like, yo, something's really missing, right? Like, we can't, those three. So that's when we were like, yo, every other like art or sport or dance or those performing things, it has execution, right? And this is before execution was even a thing. This is 1999, right? No one was really caring about execution back then.
Yeah,
If you
if you
fell, you
crash, you
didn't lose.
crash.
You crash, you crash. It just didn't count. It's like missing a shot in basketball. If you
Yeah,
shoot in basketball and you miss, you don't automatically lose, right?
yeah.
So,
Not like nowadays.
so, so we're like, yo, let's get a guy who's known for like never crashing, like never like who's always perfect, right? And he'll judge who had better execution. And so we're like, yo, that makes complete sense. But we're like, there's still something missing, right? We're like, yo, when we battle, there's like a conversation that goes on, right? Like if you if you have a specific move, like a windmill, we have a better windmill. And then if you do a better windmill, you'd be like, yo, I got windmill to flare. And be like, oh, I got windmill flare, air flare. And then the conversation would go like this, right? And that was the heart of battling back in the day, right? Like,
Yeah, you
and
respond to
so
what you see.
yeah, right. Like, like you're supposed to. Like, if you don't respond, everyone would be like, you got
Yeah,
nothing for that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
You're
we're
afraid,
winning,
or you are, yeah,
right?
100%,
Right?
100%.
You know, right? So you did something, you couldn't reply. So, you got served. That's when we said you got served, right? You got served because you can't even respond to what we did.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Right? So we got somebody who was known for being a master at cipher battles, who had an answer for everything. And we said, yo, we want you to judge who had better answers. Like, or we called it back then strategy, who had better strategy, who was able to, And so I had to do these battles like every month, right? To get my mother's business afloat. I gave her all the money so we wouldn't close down and lose our house. You know what I mean? Because put the loan in her name. So we had to like the mortgage in her name in our house. So
So
we were gonna lose
crazy,
everything on
man.
the street. So
That's
I was like organizing these jams and I was like, yo, if we don't make this fair, yo, people are gonna like not come back, right? Like if we can't tell you why you won or why you lost, you won't come back. And so for like 2 years, we were doing this, using this way of judging, and people always came back. And everyone was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's fair, right? Like, it wasn't until breaking started really getting bigger, and
Mhm.
then we started to see more jams, and then people started saying, hey, we're the only ones in Toronto that's doing this. You know what I mean? That's when things started to like, like
How did
people
you,
started throwing
when
with
did
that.
you guys, when did you guys go to your first jams to compete?
My first time ever travel, well, my first time I ever went somewhere was 1997,
Okay.
right? I didn't compete. I went to the Rocksteady anniversary in New York.
Oh, I
Yeah,
heard in the 90s that was
yeah,
the event.
yeah. Oh, it was the ultimate of the ultimate. Like that was like the BC one of the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was like because you would go out there and you saw hip hop. Not only did you see hip hop everywhere, you saw rap ciphers, graffiti ciphers, people battling on all types of things. But you saw like famous rappers, like oh, there's Talib Kweli, right? There's Guru from Gangstar, right? Like there's like like you would see this, right? And then they would be like fully immersed right? And so when someone who was like a rapper would come up to you, right, be like, "Yo, you're ill, you're dope, man." Like I'm like, "Yo, thank you," and like, "Yo, you feel," and then my boy would be like, "Yo, that's Sadat X." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah," like So it was such a trip, right? Like what I mean, like and and everybody went down to battle there. You know what I mean? So that was like a really huge thing. So when I went in 97, I like my crew was like, hey, you want to go to the Rocksteady anniversary? I'm like, Rocksteady? I love Rocksteady Crew. Like they were my heroes. You know what I mean? Right? I only saw like some a bit of footage on MTV and whatnot, right? But when I went to Rocksteady anniversary, I was like, that was the first time that I was like, yo, other people actually do this, right? Like like I thought it was just a gang thing,
Yeah, that's so
I
crazy.
didn't, I didn't know that other people, like tons of other people, actually break. Like I saw Hollowback for the first time. I
Nice,
saw like moves that I never saw before. I was like, what? I
nice.
was so scared to go in the circle. I was like, oh
No
my
chance,
God.
Renta. No chance.
I was like, and I was there the whole weekend, not dancing one time until the very end. I'm like, I gotta go in. Forget this. And I went in and then I got a huge response, right? People were like, yo, where you from? Where you from? And I was like, yo, okay, I gotta come back harder. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy.
And
Like,
at the end, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, and I was young. I was like, I was like 17.
Mm.
I'm going with like 24-year-olds, like, and they're like, my mother was like, actually, my mother liked my breaking crew better than she liked my other friends because my other friends were all like Asians or Filipinos, and she didn't trust them. She didn't trust Filipinos,
But
Filipino guys,
also, but
boys.
also, your mother knew what you are doing with your breaking friends. She
Yeah,
knew.
yeah, because like yeah, I got into trouble with like like with the law and stuff when I was young. I did so much mischief. But when
Mhm.
she saw me breaking, even though the crew it was a very multicultural group, predominantly black, right?
Mhm.
But she saw that we were dancing, right? And my mother was a dancer, so she was like
Nice.
supportive of it. So she was like, when I was like, hey, can I go with my crew to New York,
Mhm.
right? And I'm like 17, they're like 24, 25, right? She's like, yeah, okay, go. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't let my daughter do that.
That's so
You know?
nice. That's so nice. I mean, at the end of the day, your mother only wants to know where you are and what you're doing, you know?
That's true.
And if you're
Yeah.
safe, then you can do whatever you want, right?
Yeah, yeah. No,
And
she's the only one that really supported me. My father's side of the family, they were like, "What are you gonna do with your life? Like, what is it?
uh,
When are you gonna quit this thing?" Like,
um,
they were like a little bit racist too. They're like, "Only black people do this," like, what are you doing, right? Like, But my mother was
yeah,
like, "No, this is good. You're good at this. I
I
saw you
remember my
dance. You're really
uncle.
good."
I remember my uncle seeing me with the hat like 10 years ago. Oh, you still in hip hop things? He said, I say, yeah. And you know what? I traveled the world because of this. So,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, now my family's proud of me. When they started seeing me on like the news or in magazines or when people started talking about me, then all of a sudden my family was like, "Oh, I
uh,
knew you could do it."
at the beginning, my father was also like that, like you go break then. But then when we was visiting family, oh, my son, he won this and that.
Yes.
And now he's just proud. I did the
Yeah, yeah,
podcast
yeah.
with Baby Sun. You remember her? Baby Sun
Of
from Orbit.
course. Yeah, yeah. One of the best B girls I think, like in history. Yeah.
I did the podcast with her, and they
Oh,
won
dope.
2001, right?
Yeah.
She told her parents she goes to Germany to a cheerleading contest or something.
Yeah.
She won Battle of the Year. She came home. She didn't tell her father. Can you imagine? You win Battle of the Year. Your crew is the best crew in the world. You come home and you can't tell your parents.
Yeah. Oh, that's because it's Asian. She's Asian. So it's the
Yes,
Asian parents.
yes.
It's like they're
And
like,
then she said,
"But are you a doctor? Are you a doctor now?"
yeah, yeah. But currently she's happily married. She's mother. She
Yeah.
bought the house, everything from dance, and her father is so proud of her.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, no, I know. Yeah. No, she's a friend of mine too, so of course, yeah, I know.
very beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Very
awesome.
beautiful.
Yeah. So
What
I'm
do you
glad to
think?
see her up there too. So like, like people like when I see her in judging big things and stuff like that, I'm happy to see that. There's quite a few names that I'm happy to see that are up there,
She
you know?
definitely earned her stripes. Definitely.
Yes,
What do
100%.
you think? When did you blow up a little bit so you traveled more?
For me, it was 2000, 2001. I started getting like, cause like I was kind of at the cusp of the internet, right? Like when the internet started popping off. So there was a few clips of mine that kind of, I mean, for me, it was viral back then. We're like 5,000 people saw this. We were like, what?
Yeah,
Right? Like you wouldn't even imagine 5,000 people watched your video. You know what I mean? Like back then. Now it's like you got to get a million, right? So, you
at
know,
least, at least.
yeah. But it was like it was after I won Rocksteady Anniversary. That was a huge, huge turning point
Ah,
for me. That
I
was
see.
2001. Yeah, and then from there I started getting invited all over America, and then I appeared on the Lords of the Floor 2002 tape. That
Yes,
was the biggest one. That's the one that
yes,
really got my name
yes,
out
yes.
there. Yeah, Lords of the
And
Floor.
2001 Rocksteady Anniversary, you have some memories there and the opponents you battled?
Oh yeah, that I will never ever forget that. That was like the biggest thing because yeah, when I won that, that solidified because everyone used to, the way that I used to break. Well, I mean, the way that I break is like a little bit unorthodox, right? Like it's still footwork, but it's a different type, right? Because of where I was from Toronto, everybody had you had to have your own style. So I wanted to make my own style too, right? Like based on what I thought was the right way, the best style in my mind would
Mhm.
look like this, and but there were people who were saying, "You're not a b-boy, You're like, no one's gonna like your stuff
Oh my
in
God.
New York and whatnot. You're not a real b-boy, right?" So when I went to New York and then I won from Rocksteady Anniversary and like and all of them were judging, right? Then that solidified that what I was doing was right, and that also made me go on a quest because I remember backstage, right? Like they took us backstage and then they said, "Hey, the reason why because we got invited, right? We got invited there, right? And Mr.
Ah.
Wiggles messaged me directly. I was like shocked. Like he's like, "Hey, I just want to know, are you the guy that I saw in Toronto?" I'm like, "I think so." And he's like, "Yeah, we want you to battle." I was like, "What? Me? Like a direct invite?" So I had to say yes. I had to make my way to New York somehow. And I went there, and then when they took us backstage, they said, "Hey, every year Rocksteady had this weird rule, right? They said first round you can only top rock. Second round, you can top rock and footwork, but no moves. And third round, you could do whatever you want." It was like a rule that they kind of instilled like for like 2 or 3 years. It was
Like in the top 16, in the top 8, every time
every
like
battle you had 3 rounds, and the first round was only top rock. Second round was only footwork, and the third round was only you could do whatever you want on the third round, but you had to do those three. And it was like so that and they were doing it because they were tired like there was in the earlier years like power movers would come in and win it, right? Like they would
smoke
kill it so
everybody.
bad that they would win, like
Yeah,
Gerald, like rest in peace,
yeah.
Gerald from Rockforce.
Hmm.
So then they installed this rule to make sure a b-boy would win, right? Like that was the whole thing. And so when they took us backstage, they said, "Hey, this year's invited, and we invited you. It was invite only, so you don't have to do the 3 round rule because we already consider you b-boys." But I was shocked. I was like, "I'm a b-boy, right?" Like I thought I
Finally,
wasn't a b. I thought I was no.
finally.
I thought I wasn't a b-boy, right? Because with the guys who would say you're not a b-boy, I said so. I don't care, right? What's the word b-boy to me? I don't care.
You're
Like
just
I
having
still
fun.
smoke you. I still smoke the crap out of you. That was my mentality. Which now I've learned that that's what makes me a b-boy. That
Yeah,
mentality is like b-boy is not a title. It's a mentality, right? It's
yeah.
like So all these people are calling b-boys. I'm like, they're not really b-boys. They break. They're breakers, but they're not really b-boys because they don't have that. You know, it's
Mm.
like calling someone a samurai, right? Like like you're not really a samurai, right?
Yeah.
Samurais are back in the days, right? So anyway, yeah. So then that's because of that he called me a b-boy. I wanted to know what a b-boy is, so I was kind of like on a quest, right? So I started to be like, yo, I already have this system that I'm trying. That I had a dream that it would become a that that it would breaking would have a system. It would be more professional,
Hmm.
right? This is in 1997. I had this dream, right? 1997. I was like in the Philippines because I was running away because there was a huge kind of like a gang war, right? Like a racial kind of like gang war that was going on. So I was kind of like I had to leave, otherwise it would have been really bad, right? If I stayed, and I was staying there in Philippines in like a monastery, right? Because my uncle's a priest, right? And I was just like staying there, smoking, drinking every day, just like trying to soul search and figure things out. And then something said to me, "There's a reason why you're going through all this street stuff, and there's a reason why you're really good at dancing and breaking." I did everything. I did like rollerblades. I did yo-yos. I did everything, right? But this is what it said to me. And then I had a dream that I walked through this corridor, and when I came to the end of the corridor, I was at a huge arena, and then I saw a stage in the middle, like a stage, and then a spotlight went on a DJ, and two teams ran up. And this is 1997, and I never saw anything like this. And it's very cliche. One team was wearing red, and one team was wearing blue, right? And they started battling, right? I guess maybe the red and blue thing was because of Bloods and Crips, maybe I don't know, right? And they started battling, and then I woke up and I was like, "Yo, that would be cool if something like that ever happened." But in '97 was only dirty, dark
No chance. Gyms
circles, right?
or gyms.
Right. So this dream happened. So then that's why when the system and thing came out, I was like, yo, if I'm gonna if I'm gonna have someone judge foundation, maybe I should figure out what foundation means, right? Like I didn't know what it meant. I know they all said you have no foundation. I was like, so, but they were right. I didn't know what foundation was.
Mm.
They said I'm not a b-boy. Maybe they were right. I didn't even know what the word b-boy was. So
Mm.
I had to like like by them calling me a b-boy, I really took it into me to like figure out what b-boy meant. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And so I started talking to all the OGs,
Nice.
trying to suck in the information.
So, so Dizzy,
And
what is
yeah,
the B? What is the B for in B-boy then?
B.
What is the
So
B
what
for?
I've learned is like this is what I really really learned right from asking. Okay, so I have to put it in context. I spoke to as many OGs that I can. When you're in New York, you know that New York peeps, they always talk a lot. They're always reminiscing. They speak about everything. And so when you ask them a question, they will go into it for like hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I grew up with all women, so I'm always just listening, right? I always like that's just how I am, listening to what they're talking about, and like going, right? My crew would be like, "Yo, stop egging these guys on," right? Like like they just keep like talking about this that everyone says they invented breaking, but I start to hear more and more about about their about what they experienced and about what B meant to them, right? So initially, what people say is that B was for like the bad boys, right? Like they're all like like when you see somebody standing there, like oh he's a like those are bad boys, right? Like but then when they had the parties, right? Then they started calling them Bronx boys, like Bronx are bad boys, right? Like the Bronx boys. But when they started having the parties, you would have people from Brooklyn coming over, right? Like the Cool Herc parties, like they were like super. It would be like imagine when I heard the stories about like the parties and the street parties. It was like I can imagine it, and it's like a movie to me. You know what I mean? It was like you would hear about this party. Okay, so everything after 9 o'clock, there's a curfew in New York, right? Do you hear about that? If you
Mhm.
ask Wiggles, right? Ask Wiggles and Podmaster Fable. There's a curfew at 9 o'clock. It's gang time. So if you're out on the street past 9 o'clock, people are gonna ask you where you're from. They're gonna rob you. They're gonna you have to be in your area, and people have to know you from that area, right? Because everyone was trying to fight over areas to do crime, to do drugs, because you don't do crime in your own area. You don't break into your neighbor's door, right? Because you live there, right? Like, so you need to go to the next neighborhood and you do all your crime over there, sell your stuff over there, right? But there's another gang that's protecting that area, right? So it's like, so this is like what they were living through back then. Like all the buildings are smashed. And the only good thing that would be good at that time that was relatively safe were house parties, right? Like house parties, right? When there was a house party, that was one good thing that everybody can look forward to, right?
And nobody
Because
has to be worried about getting shot or anything.
yeah, or stabbed or killed because you don't like if there's a party. So everyone who went to a party, you tried to be on your best behavior at the party because if you were to kill somebody, then the party would be over, right? Like you know what I mean? So you don't want to ruin the party because there's a lot of pretty girls and stuff and whatnot. So you're just trying to like, be part of that party. You know what I mean? So Cool Herc actually was the one that had the biggest party. He's not the only one that did like, that had the DJ and equipment, but he's the guy that had he was like the one that had the battle of the year, or like,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
biggest thing, right? Because he had the biggest equipment and everyone would hear. So I heard stories of people going, "Hey, I heard there's this party. Cool Herc's having a party in the streets. We have to go. We're rolling with tons of people." So they're walking down the street, following the music to the area, and then another gang kind of on the other side of the streets, walking down the street at the same time. And they're looking at each other from across the street, and they're like, "Yo, are we gonna rumble? No, let's keep trying to go and get to the party and see if we can get there." So it was kind of so interesting, right? Like that. Like when you hear the stories, it's like, what? This sounds
Yeah.
like a movie,
Yeah, I talked with B-Boy London,
Yeah,
London
yeah.
from New York City.
London from New York City Breakers? No, I know London from London.
Yeah,
But
no,
not
there is he's second generation New York City Breakers.
yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
he told me the same thing. He told me the B is for the bad boys. This is where
Yes.
all this our B-boy stance is coming from.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Smoke you what
Yes,
you
yes.
want. This.
Exactly.
So the B was bad, and then after the parties came, it was the B-boys
Bronx.
was for the break.
Yeah, well,
Because
I mean there was the Bronx boys and the Brooklyn boys. So then there was the break boys, yes.
yes,
And
yes.
so that's why they just kept the B because it meant so many Brooklyn, Bronx, bad boy, break boy, beat
Mhm.
boy. Then there was the Boogie Boys, right? So they
Yeah.
had so many. Yeah,
So
yeah,
when
yeah,
to come full circle to the beginning, what I said, so when they say you cannot throw dicks anymore in the battle, you can't attack your opponent in the battle, this is not
yeah,
battling. You know,
yes, of
this is
course.
not this is not the essence of breaking, because in breaking
Yeah,
you want to smoke your opponent. You want him
yeah,
humiliated. You want to
yeah,
humiliate your opponent. And it's not, hey, I do my round, you do your round. Hey.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. No, it's not supposed to be happy. You're supposed
Yeah.
like this is why with our system, right? Like, like confidence, right? Like busting egos, like taking away someone's confidence is in the system, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
in there because
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to preserve that element, right? Like sometimes I watch battles and you can see someone's attitude, his attitude is like he lost, right? He's like, oh,
And he already lost.
right. Like, yeah, and he lost. It's a
Yeah.
knockout, right? It's a
Yeah.
knockout. If you act like that, you
Yeah.
lost. The other person made you lose. But
Yeah.
then the judges can still choose that person. I'm like, what the heck is going on, right? It's like watching a boxing match. One person knocks the other person out, and they go, you know what? But the person who got knocked out, I just like the way he threw punches. It looked so nice. It was
Bravo.
so beautiful the way he threw punches. It was like,
Bravo.
so I think he won,
Yeah.
right? Like it's like what?
Uh, this is a big, big part. I remember one of my crewmates told me, man, when he did the move, your face went like this, you know? And then he said to me, if you can't watch it, turn around.
Yeah,
Turn around, but don't let the confidence go down, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Because you already
yeah,
lost then. You already lost. It
yeah,
doesn't matter what you do anymore.
yeah.
And he
Yes, yes,
was right 100%. He was
yeah.
100%.
I think that's what made b-boy like I mean street b-boys so great because for me and for like I think for a lot of guys that I see who are like no matter how crazy the move is, their look is like, so what? Like, like doesn't matter how good it is, they're just like, so
Yeah.
because we know what it's like to get beat up, right? Like you know what I mean? Like to actually get really beat up. So
Yeah.
when someone's doing a crazy move, you're like, this doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt
Yeah.
as bad when people are
Yeah.
like
Fuck off.
like stomping on you. You know what I mean? So you're like, that's nothing. You know.
That's right.
And breaking, you
So,
can always come back. You know.
yeah. So, brother, we already go to the Fave 5 because we're already over the time that I planned.
Okay.
It
Cool.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, we can do longer, but I have to go to work after, so I
Yeah.
cannot.
No worries. No worries. We can
So,
always have another time. We can always do this again
100%.
another time.
100% easy. We will do a part two. 100%. I hope live, even live. So,
Yeah.
Fave 5, right? So, we always start classic. We want your favorite five B-boys all time. Doesn't matter which one is first, doesn't matter if it's five or two,
Oh,
just your favorite B-boys.
oh my gosh, it's so hard. Because I don't want to leave people out because
You will, sir, you will.
everybody that I mentioned here is part of my story. You know what I mean? So I would have to like I'm gonna try to name it according to like how it happened,
Okay.
right? Like first person that I ever saw was Gizmo from Bag of Tricks. A
Okay.
lot of people don't know him now, but I think he was the first person that was like a myth to me, like because he was Filipino and I'm Filipino, and there's this little Filipino guy who's smoking everybody, and it made all the Asians like really proud, like what? Uh, an Asian is battling everybody and
You
he's
have
killing, and
one.
he's like, right? So that was like my first major inspiration. When I saw him, I was like, he's got so many intricate little moves, tons,
Mhm.
right? So I was like, yo, I need to have a lot of intricate moves, right? So I would say he probably actually he's technically not the first one, but the first one actually really is actually Crazy Legs, right? I know you're not a fan of Crazy Legs, but he was the first person that because the guys in my crew in my street crew everyone was breaking, and one guy said to me, "You want to see the best breaker in the world?" And I said, "Sure." And he showed me Crazy Legs. And when he showed me Crazy Legs, I was like, "He's the best because he's got crazy legs, right?" So
Yeah.
I automatically thought that to be the best, you have to have the craziest legs. That's
Yes,
the reason
sir.
why I break the. That's the reason why I break the way I do,
Yes, sir. You
right?
definitely have crazy legs. Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
I said, okay, I have to have crazier legs than this guy. So he's the first. And second was Gizmo, because he's the real in life, in person that I actually really saw and go, whoa, he's the best in Toronto in Canada, because he's got tons of original moves that you're like, what the heck was that? Okay. The third person that became a huge inspiration to me was once again I joined Supernaturalz now, and then my partner was Migas, right? Because
Okay.
Migas was Supernaturalz. He's the one who brought me into Supernaturalz. And
Okay.
Migas showed me this video, and he goes, "You want to see the best b-boy in the world?" I was like, "Yes, who?" And he showed it to me, and it was Storm. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I couldn't believe it when I saw Storm. I was like, "Holy crap!" Like he just could do everything. He was like a battle machine. He
Yes.
was battle of the year '92, and he battled against everybody, just him and his brother.
Yeah, they won
And
everything as a
yeah,
duo.
the two guys, and he just had all these moves, and he did this one move that stuck with me forever. He was like he did it at the Zulu anniversary party in New York, where it's that move where he kind of like does like a little belly move and then a fish move, and then he goes
And then
pink
it
on the ground. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And when I saw this move, it changed my life, because I was like, yo, he had so many hard moves, but that move wasn't that it was hard. It just looked beautiful,
Yes.
right? Like it had a math to it that was perfect. And that's when I said, okay, I don't have to do something very hard. I just got to do something that's artistically
Yes.
beautiful. And
Hmm.
and it just has to have the right math. So all my combos, my threading combos that you see me do is based off the math of that combo. Of a entrance, a 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 bam, and hit the freeze at the end. Right? So Storm changed my life. So yeah, even to this day, I always tell him like all the time. And then you had after those three, now there's the uh I would honorable mention is Easy Rock, because
Okay,
when
yeah.
I saw the way he breaks was so smooth, I
He
was like,
did
of course,
everything. He did
huh?
everything, right? Easy Rock.
Yeah,
He
he
did
did
everything.
everything, and just like, and he had crazy, his legs were look crazy, so I loved him, right? Like, you know. And then I saw Maurizio. Oh my goodness, when I saw Maurizio and his power footwork
His
changed my
flair,
life.
his
Everything.
hips.
No, just how dynamic his footwork was. Like he was flying around with his feet, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's not just crazy in the sense that it's wiggly, but it's crazy in the sense that it's flying. So I was like, I wanted to have the craziest legs. So I was like, the power footwork has to be part of it, right? So that's when I got into the power footwork phase. And then the last one, my number five, I would say, if I choose my fifth one, is just really watching the story of Alien S, right? Like just Alien S is like his whole thing of what he did. Because at one point, like he was like kicked out of Rocksteady, and he was like this. He was kind of like this underdog, and then how I saw him battle his way back up, and then make the MZK, and then teach Foundation, right? He's the one who made Foundation popular, right? Like he's the one who taught Foundation to breaking and changed the game, right? With like explaining what Bronx style and all this stuff, and the attitude and the burns and everything. And when I saw that, I was like, yo, it's amazing, right? And so I think those would be my five.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
My main
mean,
five. Of course, there's so many other guys out there, like, you know, like who are younger than me. But I mean, the five that are I look up to because they were before me.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
those five.
And I asked this question just to get a sense of the taste and the history of the guest.
Yeah.
Uh, of course, we cannot forget the B girls. Five, please.
Five B girls. Oh shoot. Okay. If I was to choose five, I mean, should I choose from back in the day and today?
I mean, it's your list. You can choose whatever you
My
want.
list. Okay, I'm gonna have to start with Abby girl. I don't
Oh,
know if you remember Abby girl.
yes,
She
yes.
was like the first B girl that I saw really like killing it. Like, you know, who
This
can
is
roast the
Circle of
most?
Fire, right?
No, no. Abby girl is from she was from Supernaturalz, and then now she represents Domestic Ape. She's from New York,
Who I
right?
mixed
But
her
she's
up
from
with then. There was a
Yeah,
big.
Abby girl. She's a she's definitely like a legend in the
Yeah,
States, right?
yeah.
I mean, she stopped for a while, and she got into like, you know, like she's a huge big time real estate person, and you know, so
Oh,
she got into other stuff. But she's like my sister. Like we came
ah,
up
nice,
together. You know what I mean? Like
nice,
she's
nice.
like, you know, we're like same age, or maybe she's like a little bit older than me, but she's like, yeah, she's my sister. We really came together.
Hmm.
And then so I would say she's one. I would say I have to go with okay, I have to go with Beta, right? Like Beta was
Beta Rock.
Beta Rock, right? Like nasty. And then I'm gonna go with She-chan, big girl She-chan, right?
Chen from Japan, right?
From Japan, yeah, right. Like she came when I saw her come to, she was the first big girl to ever do air flare, right? Like and she hit it went at Mighty Four Cyphers, and she came out super ferocious and very like unorthodox style. She's one of the people that made the Japan unorthodox style,
Yeah,
like that
yeah, yeah.
twitching style. She made that kind of like she helped to make that famous, right? Because she was with I think she was dating one of the guys from Ichigeki or something, right? So I would put her in there. You know what I mean? I really liked her. And then and she's still a great friend of mine today. And she's like older than she's actually older than me. So she's like she's like a big sister, big little sister. And then I like these days, I would say if I'm putting people who I see these days, uh big girl Nika,
She's like a Bronx b-boy. Yeah.
she's really incredible, right? Like with all her, yeah, like just she can do everything, you know what I mean? She's very light, and then she always comes always on the music,
Mhm.
always with like what you call those like always with like unique patterns to the music, and then does power, does everything. And so yeah, I would say she's definitely there.
Mhm.
And then if I was to add one more person that I like, not and not just the breaking, but also the attitude, the branding, like I like logistics. You know what I mean? Like just like
Oh, Logan, yes, a big
yeah,
fan.
yeah.
I'm a
She
big
does
fan of.
she wears her heart on her sleeve. She does choreo. To me, in my opinion, she brought choreo into the all styles kind of feeling. She's kind of one of the first to bring that
Mhm.
into breaking, at least in New York, in USA, I mean, right? Like in America and stuff like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
so she was doing that. She was mixing it up, and and now a lot of people approach breaking with an all
She's,
style feeling, which I
she's
think is great.
she's
I
not
think it's
only a
awesome.
big girl, she's a great dancer in general.
Just a great dancer, period. You know what I mean? Like, and so I like that. Yeah,
And so humble, such a good heart. Shout out to Logan.
yeah,
Shout out.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
five of
Everybody else, I have other lists too. I mean, but they're all like rivals. You know what I mean? And so like, and so I mean, I would add so many people out there, but I'm just adding the five guys that I
the.
looked up to. You know what I mean? That changed the game for me. So yeah,
Okay. So five of the favorite battles you battled.
that I battled
So for sure,
Rocksteady,
Rocksteady, right?
for sure, Rocksteady, right? Because of like the whole man. I'm writing a book, and I talk about that story in there, and
Oh,
what happened
nice.
and what I learned. I'll release it one day. And then the second one I would say is my battle against again, Lords of the Floor 2002,
Oh, yes.
right? That was really good. Like that was hype. And then in urban games, right? When I went to London or
Mhm.
to England, and then I battled over there, and that was like one of the peaks in my time.
Mhm.
Um, and then the others are kind of like super. Oh, of course, freestyle session, right? When I battled with the Seven Commandos,
Mhm.
and we won in 2010. Never forget that. But a lot of them are like with Supernaturalz,
Of
right?
course.
Like cipher battles, like just like those are actually like the to me the best ones. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just if I can choose anything in breaking, it would be to be with my crew and another crew and battling in a cipher, no judge, no time limit. To me, that's the best. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That's the ultimate, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
What
those
do
are the
you
best.
think? What year was Prime Dizzy?
Um, I have different primes. Like I
Okay.
think right, like because like I evolved, right? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
had ups and downs. So I think like when I came out like in 2001, 2002, or in 2003, around this time, that was like like I could do everything. That was my physical
Like physical Prime.
prime, my physical prime. And then when I was like 35, like 2010, around there, is like I think that was my prime in the sense of like where experience and my physical, like like I wasn't as physically strong,
Yeah.
but my experience and my understanding of the dance was like at a good level. And so I was like me and my crew Supernaturalz were battling everywhere. We were winning like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like the strategy and everything was
Yeah.
really together. So I think that was like probably one of the best times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. And from the 2004 crew from Supernaturalz, still people break from there?
Yeah, yeah. They break, but everyone's kind of doing their own thing, and it's just kind of like it's sad. It's kind of like what every crew is. If your crew doesn't evolve into either a club or make a business model, then you're doomed to kind of split up and
Yeah,
go and
100%.
disperse, right?
100%.
It's
100%.
just the way it goes. Every crew that made a business model
Yeah.
or created a club or something like this, they're
Mhm.
still together to this day and they're still like
Yeah.
strong, you know what I mean? And so this
100%.
is why I'm always talking about this because I don't want crews to disappear. You know, I want them to
No,
keep going, you know?
this is the reason why I start and I kept on dancing. And our
Yeah,
dream was to represent that Battle of the Year with our crew. And
yeah,
nowadays it's represented BC1 and that's one-on-one and that's not breaking one-on-one. You know, that's it's
yeah,
nice to have. And BC1 is a nice competition. You can win money, you can win props and everything. But breaking is with your crew. This is
yeah.
this is
That's
really
one of the things. That's one of the things that the biggest drawbacks. Like, of course, like I'm not. I don't think Red Bull did it on purpose. You know, like
I mean, at the
you
end
know,
of the day,
but
Red Bull is a business. They make what
yeah,
makes the most money for them. If it's something for the
yeah,
culture, it's a plus,
yeah,
but it's not.
yeah. Well, it's easy. Like you're like, oh, I don't have to deal with like how many crews coming. I just got to deal with 16 B-boys, right? That's it.
The whole
Yeah,
logistic part is much more easier, you know?
it's more easier, and we didn't know that it's gonna have this kind of effect where it was gonna kill a lot of the crews. Like yeah, Red Bull is definitely the crew killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, in more ways than one, right? Like number one, you know, everyone's wants to be a solo b-boy now, so it's killed the crew spirit. Two, they're taking the best b-boys from crews, and when they take the best b-boy, the crew dies.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
100%.
you know. And
100%.
three, when these Red Bull guys are battling right with the best guys and they're battling regular crews, they're killing these like a lot of crews, right? Like, you know, because it's not fair. You know what I mean? Like to have like, you know, and so yeah, they're really crew killers. They killed the crew
I
culture.
mean, I mean, you, I mean, you can't blame them. Just don't participate in that. You know, like,
Yeah. No, no, no. No, I think it's fine because like they have every right to do it in some ways, right? Like, you know, they're paying these B-boys to make an all-star team that will bring more uh notoriety and rep and make more sales for their
yeah,
brand,
yeah, it's
right?
all business.
It's business.
You have to
Yeah,
separate.
yeah.
You know what is
So
culture and what is business. Business is one-on-one. Cultural is crew.
yeah,
That's it.
it's easy for them to it's easy for them, and in my opinion, it's cheap for them. They're able to be like, oh, we can take over this whole breaking culture by just doing this one event. It's only going to
Bro,
cost us like a few million, but we own breakdancing, we own
bro.
breaking. Sure,
And
makes sense.
to be honest,
Yeah,
no organizer wants to deal with 16 full crews. You know, they're all,
yeah,
you know,
of
like,
course, of course. Nobody did. Only
no,
R16 did it, and that's why everyone liked R16, right? Because R16 dealt with like 16 crews, and
bro,
you know, you
B-boys,
know.
one B-boy is cool. Many B-boys are not cool. You know?
Yeah, yeah. But this is the reason why I realized that yeah, no one can deal with 16. It's not feasible, right? But that's the reason why with the plan, it's like, yo, why don't we can still make things big without having to do it like this format of this like
Yeah.
this amateur format. Like back in the day, the illest thing was when Montreal came down to battle us in Toronto, and that was ill, right? Like everyone loved it, everyone talked about it, everyone was like, yo, that was the craziest thing. There
Yeah.
was, you know, we didn't have like 16 crews. We just had Montreal and Toronto.
Yeah.
So why can't we just recreate that, right? Like, you know, why can't we
I
bring
mean,
the Toronto Supernaturalz to Geneva, right? And
the
have Geneva
idea,
against Toronto,
the
right?
idea was very good. And I remember you talked with us in the practice studio, you explained
Yeah,
everything. We even did the first part. We invited the city in Bern to our
yeah,
jam. But you know
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah,
These motherfuckers didn't send the real Bern B-boys, they sent students.
yeah, yeah.
And then they never invited Zurich B-boys to come to Bern to battle them.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
it died,
That's the only thing.
it died real quickly, you know.
Yeah, the hard part is like this is the reason why like why with the block I'm working through clubs and schools and studios, right?
Mhm.
Because we can we can actually have a good uh working relationship, because people, b-boys who own studios, clubs, and schools and who run them, they're more business minded, right? They
Yeah.
see the opportunity. It's not just a battle. They see that, they see what it's creating, and that's why, we're doing what we're doing. Like, we're trying to,
Mhm.
so that's why I hope DPC is going to be able to come, to the block in October,
What date
October
is it?
25th, October 28 and 29, or 27, 28. So it's like 3 days after DPC. So I'm gonna go to
Ah, it's
DPC for
during
that.
the week. It's during the week,
Yeah,
right?
it's during the week. Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
will, we
Because
will, we will definitely make promotion for it. That's for sure.
yeah, if you guys can send someone to represent, like DPC,
Mhm.
or Group Academy, or
Mhm.
or your school and your club, then
Mhm.
we can actually. We're also having the business conference, right? I don't know if I told you about that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, so we're having like a breaking business conference, right? Where it's the focus is on breaking schools, clubs, studios, and whatnot, right? And how to strengthen each one, and kind of like sharing kind of like what Dream Runners did, because Dream Runners now has 6 clubs,
Yeah,
right? Like
I saw your post. That's so crazy, man.
yeah, yeah. 2 of them have over 600 members,
That's
right? So it's like an army now, and it's just like I want to see more people being able to be that successful, not just surviving, but thriving. You know what I mean? Like I
Mhm.
want to see that. You know?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. So, two more things and then we finished. First, we're gonna create the perfect breakup. Okay?
Hmm.
We have, of course, the four elements, top rocks, footwork, palm, or freezes, but we're gonna add fashion and flavor, right?
Fashion
So I'm
flavor.
just gonna ask you, and you give me a breakup, right? So
Okay.
first, top rocks. Who do you choose?
Who would I choose? I would choose for Top Rocks. I would choose Code from Korea.
Ooh,
Right. For
ooh,
for me, he's my favorite Top Rock. I love a lot, so many of them. Like I
so
love
much
like
energy.
from
He has so much
I,
energy when he top rocks.
music, and just that he's really original with it. Right. Like he's super original. He's got the patterns like super crispy. Just
Yeah,
like he's just Top Rock to me. He's one of the best Top Rockers
100%. 100. Oh,
that I've
Cole,
ever seen.
I love your
Yeah.
answer. I love Cole. I love Cole. Um,
If I had that Top Rock, oh man, it's such a walk. It's like so
no,
because most people can't Top Rock to that level. So
no, bro,
it's so
he does it like fucking power moves. His top rocks are
yeah,
power moves, man. You cannot, no, no, you have to practice this. You cannot have this. It's just too crazy. It's too crazy. So,
yeah, yeah.
footwork.
Footwork. Um, Man, I love. Okay, if I can choose my footwork,
Of
because
course.
the reason why I do footwork the way that I did back in the day, if I can choose how I used to do footwork with the knowledge I have now, then I would choose myself. But if I just exclude myself, um, the footwork that I really like is because it's similar. It has the same thing. Is I like jet lag. I like jet lag. How?
But
Yeah,
he's not known for his footwork, right?
yeah. But when I look at the way his feet are moving, I'm like, holy smokes! Like it's
Yeah.
super powerful. Yeah, because to me that's like footwork has become kind of like a art kind of thing where it's like, I like this footwork because of this angle over
Yeah.
here. Like like it's become like kind of like that. But I've always looked at there's different kinds of footworkers, right? And they have a different place in a battle, right? So like when you're battling in footwork, it's who has more patterns, who has more steps, and I have a pattern just like that, and I can add more, and I can make more shapes, and you know. But there's always like guys going back and forth, and then you have a guy at the end who's like the ace of footwork, right? Somebody like who comes out and has this crazy footwork patterns, like a Maurizio, you know what I mean? That or Easy Rock, when he comes out with his footwork, everyone's like, okay, like all right, or someone like Crazy Legs, or someone, like, so I think Jet Lag is kind of like that kind of guy. If he was in a footwork crew, he would be that ace that comes out at the end and
Mm,
blast everyone.
I
Because
see.
basically, when every pattern's been done, and then someone comes out like that, it's really hard to reply to someone whose footwork is that dynamic. You know what I mean? Like that. everywhere.
No, that's really hard. I mean, in general, footwork is
Yeah.
very hard. And to have like a
Mhm.
dynamic footwork style, I mean,
Yeah.
it kills your stamina. It kills it, right?
Oh yeah. It's
Uh,
crazy. Yeah.
so freezes.
Freezes. Oh man. Yeah. I would definitely choose physics freezes like
Ah, ah,
right in his prime. You
ah.
know, like prime. If I was to do freezes, it'd be like his like
And one more.
flexible, crazy
And
balance,
one
like where he
more.
holds it for forever.
And
And
one
if it's
more.
not him, I would choose someone like Kimel's style of doing freezes,
Mhm.
right? Like you know, but
We're gonna take
yeah, I would.
physics. We take physics.
I'll go with physics. You know, yeah.
Okay, power
Wait,
moves.
yeah, I'll go with physics.
Power moves.
Power moves. Oh man, there's so many. Oh man, man. I would. Okay, my personal favorite power mover. Personal favorite.
It's your
Okay,
list.
I mean, right now, of course, I like Monkey King, right? Because you know I see him all the time, and he keeps like coming up with new things that when I was young I thought that would be impossible, right? Like I'd be like, we used to be like, imagine jackhammers, one hand air
Yeah.
flare to jackhammers, and
You
we'd
did it.
joke around and
You did
pretend,
it.
but we never actually thought that that would happen,
You did it on the
right?
wall. On the wall.
Yeah, you do it on the wall, right? You do it on the wall, and you joke around exactly on the wall. You're like, yeah, what the
Uh,
right? But he actually did it, right? And then a double air flare. But my style, if it was according to my style of power, it would be pocket. Like how fast, you know, like it's just like, you know, like it's like I like Issei's power where it's all on the beat and music too. But my style is like the
yeah.
energy of pocket going, ah!
No, I prefer this too. This is
Yeah,
for me the real power, the speed.
yeah,
You know, not
yeah,
the
the speed.
technique. Not the technique from air flare, you go in
Yeah,
flare,
yeah,
go air flare, flare, air flare,
yeah.
flare.
Yeah, yeah. I like the speed,
Yeah,
the sheer speed and
100%.
pocket, the energy behind his power. I
100%.
mean, when he was at his prime, of course, you know, like yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Then we come to flavor.
Flavor. I kind of like. Okay, I mean, there's quite a few people I like. You know, I like, but they're not me, right? So for example, I like kind of like Casper or Kmel kind of flavor. Like it's like, you know, but that's not really me. If I mean, if I can choose a flavor, right, it would be like Cloud, right? Like his kind of flavor. His kind of like character is just so like smooth and
Yeah.
suave. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I would,
He's floating, right?
yeah, just like when you see him, like you know, like even when he battled in like he can win with just his character and
100%.
his aura, like
His,
like
his antics,
you know,
right?
yeah. So like you know, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. And last but not least, fashion.
Hmm. This is a hard one because most b-boys these days dress like trash.
Lost, the lost art.
Oh man. Oh, it's kind of weird. It's kind of hard. Who do I see that I'm like, yo, I just like this the way this person dresses. Um, Let me see. Yeah, I can't really
You know
think right
what?
now. That's gonna take the time.
You can choose
I
yourself.
never
No?
I never thought of that. Yeah,
I mean,
that's hard.
you also color coordinate, right?
Of course. Well, I mean, yeah, everyone. Yeah. For me,
Then,
I'm get when you get into your mid 40s, you kind of like things don't matter as much as they used to
of
be
course,
before.
brother, you also have a
You know?
family now. You're a father. There is more
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
things than matching the red on your head to the red on your shirt, right?
Yeah.
So you know what? Just gonna take you. So the perfect breaker, according to Mr. Dyzee, has the top rocks of code, the footwork of jet lag, the power moves of pocket, the freezes of physics, the flavor of cloud, and he's dressed like Dizzy in 2001. Yeah,
Yeah. Nice.
something like that.
Yeah. I think that's
So,
cool.
and to finish
Yeah.
off everything, so scenario, yeah, there is an UFO coming.
Hmm.
They say Dizzy. you have to save the world. Yeah. You have to choose the five best Canadian breakers of all time, and they're gonna battle the aliens to save the world. Who do you choose?
And they get to battle at their prime.
Oh, Prime, all of them Prime.
All of them in their prime. Oh my gosh, this is kind of like okay. I'm gonna of course gonna put Gizmo in there,
Yes.
right? And then I'm gonna of course put Phil Wizard in there,
Yes.
right?
Our gold medalist.
I'm gonna of course put Migas in there, right? That's three. And then I think I would put my prime when I was in my prime in there,
100%. If you didn't put
right?
yourself on the list, I would be mad.
And then there's that fourth. Oh man, the last one would be shoot. There's like so many guys that that I think that it's hard because everyone is good, right? So mm, the last spot. If I'm looking at two, I need to probably look at someone who how you say they they have something that the other people doesn't have. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Right? Like, And so I would probably put either Pieces because he was really strong and had great freezes when he was at his prime and
I
his
see
head
him still
balance.
strong.
Yeah, still strong now. Yeah, Pieces. Because I mean, there's so many other great guys. You know what I mean? If we talk about
100%.
puzzles, Onten guys, like like so many amazing B-boys, Benzo, like all these other guys were great. Um, or Deadly Mike. Like I don't know if you heard of Deadly Mike. Like oh yeah, maybe he would be great too. Um, yeah, but if it was to put someone that can do something that people can do, it'd be either Pieces or Lazy Legs at his prime when Lazy Legs was like
Ah, he's
you know
Canadian too.
he's
Yeah.
Canadian. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lazy Legs.
They have the event, right? The
Yeah,
Illabilities event
yeah.
in
Yeah, he put the abilities together. It's from him,
you know
right? And
what?
so,
You know what? We will put lazy legs. We put lazy.
yeah,
Yeah, come on.
yeah, right. Because he had like because if you need an ace, right? Somebody who's got the big hard moves that nobody else can do.
And I
And
love
so
the
he's kind of like
and I love
him or Pieces would be the perfect guys for that spot.
I love the Illabilities guys. What they
Yeah,
stand for, what they represent, how they
yeah,
are. It's just amazing.
yeah,
Just amazing. So shout
yeah.
out. Shout out.
I secretly wish that they would go and teach, like, go to like a place that and teach people how to be like people who have disabilities to
Yeah.
become amazing b-boys, so that I can steal them and put them in my crew, right? Because I want guys who have those kind of powers in my crew. We never lose, right?
My
With my
father,
with my
hey,
philosophy for strategy, well, we can't lose.
we brought Tamuka to DPC Jam. My father was
Yeah.
watching, and
Oh yeah.
he's like,
Yeah. Oh
you
my God. If I had someone like that, like
see?
if I had Supernaturals had somebody like Samuka or Junior or any of those guys in our crew, we could never lose.
Nah, forget it. Forget it. They don't even have the bonus, but they also have the skills to back it up, you know?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the
No. Yeah.
kids and
Exactly.
the kids and the female bonus, that was real back in the day.
Hmm.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
not so much anymore because they both evolved like crazy. They can smoke
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody. But there
Yeah.
was the bonuses. I remember, bro, I in my second or third year, I lost to two big girls with my friend. And since then, I said to myself, I will never battle like loosely against big girls or kids. I will always give 200%.
Yeah.
I never lost again to a girl or
Yeah.
to a kid. So, but I stopped also 10 years ago. So yeah.
Never show mercy. I don't show
No, no,
mercy in
no, no.
battles.
So,
Yeah.
brother, thank you so much for taking your time. It was amazing. We already spoiled it. We're gonna do a part two for sure. We still have to talk
Okay.
about so many things. Maybe we can do one after your announcement and all the seminar and the
Hmm.
they did with the blog. Maybe then it
Or
makes
when I
when
come
you come
to
to the-
Switzerland.
yes, because we didn't announce it yet, but Dizzy will be judge. No, when this comes out, everybody know you're a judge. So all cool,
Okay. Cool.
all
Awesome.
cool, all cool. Yeah. And who I will talk offline about that. So thank you again. Any last words and shout outs?
Oh man. yeah, shout out to my crew, Supernaturalz. You know what I mean? Shout out to Dream Runners for the things that they're doing.
Mhm.
Uh, to all my partners from like the Metro Manila Breaking Club to Block and everyone around the world that follows, you know, and has shown support. And of course, to my wife and daughter is like everything is for them. You know what I mean? I want to be successful in what I do
Most important.
for my family, right? And I hope that like you know we B boys and B girls can do this for our families. You know, be successful in what we love for
Mhm.
them to provide a future for our families.
100%.
So
100%.
yeah.
Thank you so much, brother. For all the viewers and listeners, follow us now, subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Thumbs up for the algorithm. Notification on. You never miss a video every Sunday. Hey, Harlow. Every Sunday. Also, you have the breaking news with Swifty. You have Origins with Popping Mike. And if you want to show full support, you go now to Patreon. Yes, you support us every month, €5. You spend this on way more bullshit than supporting our channel. What is €5? Nothing. And if you're a patron, you can enter our Bottega Prama giveaway. Yes, shout out to Bottega Prama. You can win €100 for their online store. So participate now and show full support. Thank you again, Dizzy. And that was your favorite breaking show with your favorite b-boy host. Peace.